Hello. Today we will continue with Layers of Stardust. So last time we did Prince Leland. We reached the end of the content available for him. So now we're going to begin with Prince Almeisan. It would be rude to refuse Prince Almeisan since he has shown so much care, and the Emperor especially invited him to meet with Earth's ambassador. Without even finishing his sentence, Jonathan felt a pair of plate-sized paws weigh on his shoulders, claiming their prize. Upon hearing Jonathan's answer, Manus' expression darkened, while Leland remained stone-faced with a permanent aura of hostility and disgust. The only one who responded immediately was Alan. Through this whole time, his eyes would jump between Jonathan and Almeisan suspiciously. Well, if that's all settled, then please allow me to excuse myself. It's been a tiring day, and I need to get some rest. Today eventually. Already? That's very unlike of you to go this early to bed to rest. I am indeed going to bed, but not to rest, Jonathan. All the gods in the heavens give me strength. Alan only flashed a dirty smile and walked away after giving his farewells to the princess. Jonathan, sir, I believe you will not require my direct attendance if you wish to join His Royal Highness. Although I disagree with your choice of company during today's evening, there's no place safer than at the side of the princess anywhere. If you need me for anything, let me know and I will find you within seconds. Leland only huffed, glancing undecided for a few seconds at the Tiscari and walked away without a word of farewell. Magnus shook his head at this and disappeared seconds later. As everyone left, Jonathan felt an inviting pat on the shoulder and together with Prince Almeisan started walking towards the ballroom. Jonathan, our prince, has learned many great things about your world. Sabu will be delighted to meet you. Jonathan was grateful for the additional time he took to learn the languages and research dialects. He knew Sabu meant brother from his studies. The Uni translator, as much of a miracle it is, it doesn't always catch everything. He was also surprised at how quickly the prince switched to calling him by his name. As Jonathan and the prince walked, he noticed the spring in the Tiscari steps, his moves, the energy, and hidden excitement. The prince was much taller than Jonathan, who was already a tall human. This strange alien was intimidating and endearing at the same time, so closely resembling one of Earth's most dangerous predators. His muscles moved under his fur with every step he made, yet there was a gentle side to him too, when he flashed a warm smile at Jonathan every time their eyes met. And yes, those eyes. For Jonathan, they felt alien and familiar at the same time, and the prince seemed to know the man was staring. At some point, Jonathan felt a bit dizzy, probably the after effect of what happened to him. The prince immediately balanced him back with his massive hand. From that moment, the Tiscari kept him close with one hand on Jonathan's back. It felt odd, powerful yet warm. This brief interaction could help Jonathan. This brief interaction could tell Jonathan the prince did not care much about protocol. He felt normal, unspoiled. The prince's closeness, on the other hand, was something else, especially for someone Jonathan had just met moments ago. And he decided to ask, Your Royal Highness, I have a question if I may interrupt. Jonathan, a prince does not care much about titles. Try again. He was a strange one. Prince Almeisan. Jonathan felt a playful tap on his shoulder. Alright then, we can play this game, he thought bravely. Alright then, as you wish, Almeisan or Ame. Is that a short version? The prince only laughed in response with a low voice. I have noticed you are very hands-on. I can assure you I am feeling much better. Almeisan turned his head, gazing over Jonathan's face into his eyes, especially his eyes, probably longer than he should. The man had no idea how he was still walking. Does it make you uncomfortable, Jonathan? Jonathan decided to play this game with the prince. This is amazing. I'm grateful or no, it doesn't make me feel uncomfortable, though I never imagined myself to have a personal Tiscari guardian. In fact, Jonathan had never even dared to dream of a huge tiger-like man treating him as kindly as the prince was right now. Ah, Nazme, some treasures need to be protected. You can imagine a prince being concerned about you. Almeisan went silent for a split second, then added, "You can imagine everyone would be concerned about you." I'm not sure if I'm familiar with the word Nazme. What does it mean, as my Indian translator does not translate it? And Tiscari only rhythmically tapped Jonathan's shoulder in response. It seemed that this tapping was his way of denying an answer or teasing him. Perhaps both were a strange creature. Shortly after they entered the ballroom again, and it was as busy and overwhelming as before. None of the guests seemed to have noticed Jonathan's temporary disappearance to engulf in their own company. It helped that Almeisan's presence kept them safe from excessive crowds. Beyond Almeisan's muscular, intimidating physique or his powerful warrior aura, most aliens only quickly bowed and retreated away. At this time he wore a gentle smile, yet his eyes had a stern, alert look. Almeisan, where has the prince been all this time? I swear on the 7 rainbow-colored moons, the prince is like a knife cut sometimes. And what is this? And as Tiscari appeared in front of Jonathan, his expression much more serious than that of the prince. With him were 2 other tiger-like warriors. Almeisan. The Tiscari warriors bowed gracefully, and Jonathan immediately assumed they must have been Almeisan's personal guard. Almeisan, instead of reacting to the reprimand, showed his knife-like teeth and a smile. "Say, Sepu, good. We were just looking for you. This is the human ambassador we were so keen to meet, Jonathan. We had a bit of adventure. The scary name Said resigned, then looked at Jonathan curiously, bowing slightly to welcome him. Then suddenly he straightened up and his eyes grew cold. The human bears are marking the prince as it sits in the air. Almeisan, what does it mean in this? What have you done? Sabu. Almeisan started talking to the older tiger in an unknown dialect that Jonathan's unit translator couldn't understand beyond a few words as sick and help. Leaving him to assume they were discussing what happened. Safe glanced between him and the prince, listening carefully. The same went for the 2 tiger warriors, and through all this time, the one large paw touched Jonathan's lower back. Almeisan, our guest here must be confused. Saif finally spoke, his voice sounding somewhat more pleasant now, yet his eyes were still alert. The prince guesses the unit translator doesn't do a good job enough. Here that Jonathan decided to show them that they didn't need the device and purposely pulled it from behind his ear and began speaking Tiscari. I'm relatively well versed in the direct dialect of Tiscari, although any other specific dialects may be out of my comfort zone for now. My alarm fast is my job as an ambassador and my plan after all. Jonathan was sure that he sounded like some mountain farmer with a thick accent for the prince's advisor. Nonetheless, the beguilement expression on their tiger-like faces was a prize worthy enough itself for the man. Saeed grinned happily at this little show and clapped his hands cheerfully. The prince only gazed curiously, with one of his eyebrows gently arching up and lonely teeth showing in a cheeky smile. Ambassador, pleases me greatly. Most officials cannot be bothered to learn any languages other than their own. Yes, Saeed Sabu, the prince knows you like talking very much. I will leave the ambassador in your care for now. Jonathan, may a prince excuse himself to join his Sabu? We are here to perform, after all. It felt strange for the prince to ask that kind of question, but there he was expecting Jonathan to answer. His feline eyes were peering intensely. Why would the prince ask me for permission? Sabu is a strange one, trust me. Sabu. Ambassador, you best give him the answer he wants. Sabu will find the means of you. Sabu will find the means of you agree with him. The prince can't believe this. Such betrayal. Almeisan laughed heartily. Well, I cannot keep the prince from his duties. I'm not that selfish. The prince is grateful to Jonathan, sighed Sabu. Sighed Sabu, make sure you keep an eye on our guests until my return. As you wish, Sabu. And then the prince left to join the performing group, but not before bowing slightly in front of Jonathan while placing one of his paws on his chest. It was a familiar gesture the man had seen before, but couldn't quite remember where and what it meant. Ambassador, I will ask questions if possible. I believe you may also have some. Saeed spoke softly and slowly. He was the polar opposite of the prince in his behavior, calm and steady where Almeisan was like a thunder energy. Please call me Jonathan, Prince said. Almeisan insisted he doesn't like titles. The scary advisor chuckled. Did the prince really? Of course he has. Sabu has his way with everyone, and seems to forgive me for the lack of introduction. I am Saeed, the first royal advisor to Sabu. These two Sabu here are his first guard, Nessa and Shira. Jonathan Hope, the first ambassador of Sabu, your eyes are so pale. Is that common in your world? One of the guards spoke suddenly. Shira Sabu, continue your curiosity. That's not something you should be asking a guest. I swear, just getting you all to behave adequately to your ranks is a job itself. Saif snapped, annoyed. Saif, Sabu, we know you're curious too. Nasu Sabu, I'm not. Shiru Sabu, is that why Sabu left a mark on him? Nancy Sabu, that's enough. Rainbow wounds give me strength with you too. Jonathan, I apologize. Jonathan Sabu, the advisor, is too polite to ask himself, but trust us, his fur is burning with curiosity. He will research it later. He always does. That's it. You two are impossible. Guardu on Hawaii's plaza for the next 4 days for you. Nestor crossed his arms and took a more confident stance while Silver put his paw on his shoulder. Am I right with that? You, Silver Sabu? Yes. It will spare us the long and tedious theoretical lesson Sabu has planned for us anyway. Saeed stumbled something in response, shaking his head. Jonathan couldn't but smile, listening to this exchange that felt more like a family than a royal entourage. I must say this is very amusing, and I'm happy to trade an answer for a question. Fair enough, I suppose. Please never feel under pressure from these two to answer anything you don't want to. My species has different eye colors. It has to do with the mutation within our eyes. Our other colors are more or less sensitive to light. As far as I know, blue or gray eyes came from a single mutation many thousands of years ago. I was surprised to learn it's only an Earth thing. Shiro Sabu, Nestor Sabu, does that answer your question? Both tigers nodded, grinning. They are all strange creatures. Jonathan, now your question if you would like. What do you mean when you say I have the prince's mark on me? Safi immediately went quiet, and he was visibly chewing his large lower lip, considering what to say next. At the same time, Shira and Nestor chuckled between themselves. Sabu, come on, there's no need to hide from the human. Sabu explained his motivation. Nestor Sabu, this is not my place to say things like that. Sabu sometimes make rash decisions. You two know this better than anyone else. Jonathan Sabu, the newly only Harry is not something any Tiskeri can do. Sabu is not rash. He just thinks on his feet. Sai Sabu, you should know. Sabu has a mind of a tactician. Shira Sabu, that's enough. Sai Sabu, you tell the ambassador then. It is rude not to fulfill his request. As the first ambassador, you should know that better than anyone. The older tiger let out a deep sigh. Sai, do these two always dance around you like that when you try to make decisions? Jonathan asked, smiling. Between them, Sabu, I have my hands full most of the day, Jonathan. The Nori Oni Here is a healing ritual usually only performed by those of our kind who have remarkable strength and are close to each other. It leaves a residual trace most species can sense. It is unusual for the skill to heal in other ways, unique but not unheard of. Sabu had his reasons. He understood your condition was dangerous to your health. How dangerous? Almost critical. I didn't know. I would need to thank the prince properly. Is that why he asked me to keep it to myself? If it was that bad, shouldn't we inform the emperor, my security, for the cause? Sarah gently rested his paw on Jonathan's shoulder and shook his head. Sabu had good reason to ask you to keep it a secret for now. You are investigating in time, and you should only let your security inspector know. But not tonight. Revealing this would only cause problems. Still, Sabu has always seemed to take the matter in his own hands, quite literally, it seems. Both of the warriors chuckled between each other. Exchanging hushed words in a strange dialect Jonathan heard before. That's enough, you two. Saif waved his paw at them angrily. Now, Jonathan, Ambassador of Earth, let's talk about important matters, your job. Finally, somebody who actually wanted to talk about the job he was here to do. The celebrations lasted long into the night. Since the day lasted longer on Aoa by a lengthy 4 hours, Jonathan started feeling exhausted. He had to admit Mason was right when he said Saif talked a lot. They addressed many issues on the political side, the relationship between Aoa and Unibar, how Earth's coming into the picture could build a stronger connection between these two. Every now and then, Jonathan heard the group of the scary performing some kind of roaring battle cry that would distract him from the conversation. Only to realize after a few times it was amazing in the lead, making sure Jonathan was watching. And watching he was, sending him a smile or two whenever he noticed the prince looking. It was hard to concentrate on both things at once, and Jonathan caught himself spacing out while watching the performance. Amazing out there was different. He felt like a thunder of energy that couldn't be in one spot for longer than a few seconds. His movement had precision Jonathan already knew from somebody who spent their lives training in the military, but then with his Sabu, he was warm and gentle, like a father and caretaker. The prince was also the only one of the performing to scary wielding complex instruments and weapons, showing his precision and skill. Jonathan imagined it must have taken months, if not years, of patient practice to master. Like two personalities combined to one. Saif must have noticed as he stopped talking and waited until Jonathan returned his attention back to him. Sabu is very impressive at whatever he does. Jonathan doesn't answer, feeling his face turn away after being caught staring. There's no need to feel embarrassed, Jonathan. Our prince, he is a strange and unique one. You probably notice he is restless, but at the same time, once he puts his mind to something, even the faceless gods wouldn't be able to stop him. He's both a father to all of us and a naughty cub that I need to chase around the sanctuary, remind him how to behave. Though it's scary, giggled happily on that remark, flashing his teeth. Jonathan hasn't replied, but instead skillfully changed the topic of conversation back to political issues, making sure not to get caught out again. But soon the exhaustion became apparent enough that he needed a few moments of rest. Sorry, please forgive me. I know we still have much to discuss, but I would like a moment outside. I think after everything that happened today, I need some fresh air. Of course, Jonathan. I will send Siro Sabu with you and let Sabu know once he has returned. With a courteous semi-bow, Jonathan left the bar and let himself be led by the scary warriors who seemed to know the palace better than he did. Eventually, they have shown Jonathan the Sky Garden area. I will wait here, Ambassador. Take your time. If you are unwell, give me a sign. Beware of night predators. The Sky Garden was one of many created especially for the residents of the palace. And during this night, it was peaceful and serene with clear weather and starlight upon the land covered by shadows of the night. How odd it felt for Jonathan to see a different sky. All the stars were wrong, all the constellations gone. He couldn't even recognize which star was the sun. It would take time to get used to. Not today, though. and his mind was a mess already with 1,000 things to find any explanation, especially the scary prince. Somewhere nearby, Jonathan suddenly heard a rustle and steps, yet when he turned around, there was none. There was no one. Silver was probably still outside by the door, but it must have been the wind or fauna of this world. Then the rustle repeated, but he couldn't point out where from until Jonathan noticed a shadow moving on one of the trees, a shadow with a tail that betrayed its owner. Is the prince sure you don't have anything in common with the feline species from our world? Jonathan said out loud with a amused chuckle. As he expected, Almeisan stopped his tracks, crouching in the shadow of one of the branches of a tree just next to him. After a moment, the scary showed all his teeth a playful smile. The prince is surprised you heard him, Jonathan. You hear well. It's tranquil here. You made an awful lot of noises. Impossible, the prince is very stealthy. Ask any of them my Sabu. If he wanted, you wouldn't hear or see him. The prince has his ways. Of course you do, and why, if I may ask, you are on a tree at this time of the night? Are you hunting? Almeisan laughed and then jumped off the tree, landing softly on the pavement next to Jonathan. In the shadows of the night, the prince looked even more massive, and he felt a shiver when the scare approached him. Well, what fun would a hunt be if the prey already knew the prince was here? So I'm a prey now? That's a new thing. A lot of new things seem to be happening on this one day. It's been a long and definitely assigned one. The prince thinks you have handled it quite well, with exceptions here or there, but the helping paw was there for you. Well, I always could adapt to new things fast, good or bad, though. One thing is bothering me. Will you sit with me, please? You have left me waiting long enough, a prince must admit. Jonathan laughed nervously, but didn't say anything, waiting for the prince who slowly sat on the bench next to him. The scary stretched his arms and legs, which took a few moments, and then turned his attention back to the man. What is on your mind, Jonathan? The stars themselves. The stars? Almeisan pondered in silence for a few moments, looking at Jonathan's face. Everything here just looks different. I was wondering if you could help me. I'm not sure if I can find my home. Jonathan felt the scary slowly put his massive arm on his shoulder and then extended his other, pointing at the sky. The three up there, Almeisan, then 8 Daboan, now to the left, 8 Arakis. If you look closely, you will see Ambizir and Alker always arguing. So that's the Great Bear, Ursa Major. The Great Bear. Jonathan held up his hand, pointing at the sky. Yes, if you look closely, you can almost imagine where the head and paws are. Almeisan looked at him for a moment with an incomprehensible smile. Then the hand that was on Jonathan's shoulder gently lifted his arm higher. Yes, he isn't that great, though. You should learn about the 4 noble wizards of the desert. They parade over a much more significant part of the night sky. But look here, that's Borealis. Polaris, the brightest star in the night sky. Almeisan nodded and then slowly lifted Jonathan's arm a bit higher. Then this golden one that's quite close to a glimmering red one. That's home for you, Jonathan. Home, Earth. Almeisan gently released the pressure from under Jonathan's hand, which suddenly felt very heavy and lonely, pointing at the sky. Thank you for that. Although I know this place will be my new home, it feels better to know how to find my own sun in the night sky. It means a lot. Nesme. Almeisan gently placed his open paw on his chest and nodded his head with closed eyes. I have a question. Yes, Jonathan? Why did the prince decide to help me? I am in fact a stranger in a strange land, an alien you have never seen or met. You invest your entire energy. Jonathan's tone of voice changed. The prince pondered at his words for a few moments in silence. The prince doesn't have an answer for the question. Perhaps it was a figure of faith that pushed him towards you, but the prince hopes more will be revealed soon. Jonathan shook his head with a weak, confused smile. Amazing, Your Highness. Forgive me the boldness, but I'm not sure if you are just weird, strange, or a bit crazy. Almeisan smiled, showing his tiger-like teeth. Why not all at once? This exhausting evening came to an end, and Jonathan could only exhale slowly, trying to gather his thoughts and all his chaos of experiences. He kept the light off and wandered in the semi-darkness of his new home, lit only by the lights of the city creeping in gingerly and the stars themselves observing silently. While thinking, he took off his jacket, his shoes, and stretched. Jonathan noticed in surprise the door to his balcony was open as Silver came up his bed for a moment. He thought about alarming madness. But then he noticed the unnatural movement of the air, the kaleidoscopic bend of light, something he was very familiar with for many years. Therefore, he relaxed and walked out on the balcony. I see you're enjoying the vista. The Viridian stood motionless, with what Jonathan always thought was her face facing the city. Jonathan Hope, we are glad to see you are well. Ah yes, we sense the living energy of this place. It's quite a marvel. Many weird things have happened today, and Jonathan took a deep breath, trying to gather his thoughts before saying more. We know, Jonathan Hope. We feel guilty there was only so little us could do to help. What do you mean? Did you know what was happening? It wasn't an accident, Jonathan Hope. There were forces in this place that have malicious intentions. I'm not surprised. This is a new world, after all. We recommend you be vigilant. We consider a possibility another AOA is present in this world. Maybe more than one, but unity doesn't allow us to not succeed. We are unsure of their motives, but it is apparent you and us are in their way. That's all very confusing. How can you be certain? We have ways of knowing, limited resources and data. In time, everything will be known, Jonathan Hope. Why are you telling me this? We have been suggested to learn to trust again, yes? I guess you're right. So what now? I guess we wait and see what happens. Jonathan Hope queried. How do you feel being in full control of yourself again, without the medication the doctor has given you? Jonathan didn't answer at first, instead leaning over the thick glass balustrade, looking over the city. It's a new and unknown face. This strange new world under unknown skies. It's odd. Query. Define odd. Everything feels brighter, lighter. It actually feels before it was like listening to a song playing through a wall. You knew it was there, but always unsure of the music and the words it was carrying. There's still lingering sadness, but I can feel that I will learn to live with it eventually. I will also probably have to relearn how to feel things because everything is so new, so different. Jonathan Hope, query. You said once, coming to AOR is a chance for a new beginning. Is this your new chance to start many new things? Maybe it is. There are things I lived through I will never forget, but you're right. Maybe it is. Jonathan woke up early. It wasn't even 8 a.m. local time, but he didn't feel like staying in bed any longer. Jonathan woke up early. It wasn't even 8 a.m. local time, but he didn't feel like staying in bed longer. Today was an exciting day where he would finally open the Jonathan woke up early. It wasn't even 8 a.m. local time, but he didn't feel like staying in bed longer. Today was an exciting day where he will finally open the embassy office. The new secretary should be arriving at 10 a.m. Therefore, he still had enough time to refresh himself, eat, and utilize his time how he wanted. Jonathan was surprised to find the kitchen area connected to the rest of the apartment, since everything seemed to be built around an open plan open planet space. There was a mix of appliances, and everything was fully stocked. Right now, he didn't feel like cooking. Instead, he hit a ready meal food pack and a strong coffee, which is complete, honestly, was beyond amazing. The coffee felt odd. The beans seemed more prominent than the ones Jonathan remembered on Earth, but he wasn't a coffee bean specialist. It felt surreal as all of the items were stored in the tall glass-looking jars, neatly segregated in narrow cells and scripted labels, which he very much appreciated. With plenty of time left, Jonathan could pick and choose what he wanted to do. Welcome to Codex, Jonathan. It's a digital tool that records the world and people around you. It will automatically update itself upon registering different types of information for your convenience. It has been integrated with audio systems and the comms bracelet. Humanity had grown upon itself for a very long time in the minds of its people. Earth was a shining symbol of every dream they had, a green and blue jewel in the ocean of space, but from the further perspective of time, the shocking realization has crept up that this world has been slowly dying, desperately grasping to its dreams, with not a single country trying to pursue changes that will benefit its future. Ravaged by floods, accelerated climate change, and political instability, the jewel of space has become a kaleidoscope of nightmares. It wasn't until a decade ago that a signal was established to other races by one of the lost gateways which humanity discovered on Mars. As the scorching deserts and wet, human jungles hide the cities of the Tiscari, so do they hide their intent faces from the political scene of the empire itself. Always open to discussing and support other races, but constantly withholding enough information from the general public to create an atmosphere of distrust and fear that the long-forgotten violent history of the race may be resurfacing again. However, the emperor himself dismissed these wounds as something that the Tiscari had the right to do to protect their culture and defend they do, as the race has remained the beacon of exotic mystery, revealed only to a small group. For centuries, the northern hemisphere was thought to be impassable and inhospitable. Apart from the occasional Vulcan individual dwelling in a remote location, refugees used by explorers or on a seasonal basis, most of the people live in the warmer southern valleys in close proximity to a system of monorails or to a lake or river that facilitate contact with other settlements and networks of trade and transport. Geological records remain unclear of the cause of the Ice Age. Still, the Vulcan oral language speaks often of a time before the ice, of open timbered grasslands that were an idyllic home to a highly diverse ecosystem. It seems that further away from the center of the empire and the closer to outer borders, the less light from the jewel signs on the colonies. It seems there are communication issues between the inner circle and the outer ones. The hope is that joining the new race will appease any issues and create an economic boom that will benefit everyone. That's in Latin. Finally, with the time to do so, Jonathan could look around his new home. It was a cozy, luxurious place with large windows and plenty of light. Jonathan could see his luggage was partially unpacked and placed in storage. The space was huge, big enough to dance and run around, and Jonathan wanted. Huge windows with a balcony that overlooked the city. With one door leading outside, another to Magnus's apartment, and then to his office he hasn't seen yet. The door to the office was locked and secured by a code which Jonathan didn't know yet. It was probably best to wait for Magnus, as inputting random numbers could trigger an alarm. He seemed to be asleep. Probably is not the best idea. Therefore, Jonathan let him sleep more. Well, yeah, it's Almeisan's route, so. With a coffin in hand, the only option for Jonathan was to sit down and gather his thoughts. He had nothing else urgent on his mind. The time seemed to race this morning, and suddenly it was almost 9:30. The sun was already relatively high, and through the tall window Jonathan could see a busy line of air traffic speeding in every direction. It felt different but good, kind of different, and he felt himself smile. He decided to return to his room. Something was calling out to him since the moment he arrived here. He kept putting it away. Was it fear, sadness, anger? It took him a while to find what he was looking for, an old-looking leather guitar case. Jonathan gently carried it to the bed. He knew this wasn't the original case. Holding his breath with a heavy heart, he clicked over the locks to swing it. He opened it. Within was a broken, battered guitar, painted in navy color. The instrument box was broken and smashed, a strange twist in every direction. Next to it was a slightly burned piece of archaic paper. I will miss you so much. Keep home safe with you, and call me whenever you get a chance. Elliot. Jonathan started staring in the writing for a few minutes, then turned around. On the other side was a picture of him and his sister when they were much younger, laughing for when both were reliving their retro phase using an old camera. Slowly, he touched the battered body of the guitar. Took a few moments to contemplate. Jonathan gently closed the case while still looking at the picture. The only physical picture he had of his sister. Everything else was electronic records. It was something he could touch, feel. It felt both painful and full of relief. He didn't know what to think, so he didn't. Suddenly, with a bizarre urge, he went rummaging through the room. Grabbed the first glass frame he could find and pulled out the decorated print to replace it with his picture. Now on his bedstand, although it was old, it was out of place. It was right. It felt right. This was right. Now with a much clearer mind, he got dressed and decided to face his day. From behind, Jonathan heard a low, melodic humming and quickly recognized that Magnus had just entered his apartment. Knock, Ambassador. Can I come in? Sure, I'm free. I can see you are in good spirits, sir. Ah, yes, recent events have turned everything upside down, I guess. I woke up feeling much better than I have for recent weeks. That's a Imperial City's magic for you. It brings good fortune to anyone who comes here, and good luck in the best of all mistresses there are. Suddenly the comms came alive with a notification. Inspector U.S. Madness, please attend a visitor waiting at the door to the embassy office. That will be us, Jonathan, sir. Dewey's calling on swift wings. In an odd flood of nervous excitement, Madness began pushing Jonathan toward another pair of doors that until now were securely closed. On a side wall, there was a panel the Vulcan approached, tapped in a numerical number that allowed the device to scan his paw. We combine old-fashioned secure code with print and tissue scanning. It is not as highly sophisticated as security from outside, but it does the job well. I was expecting quantum lasers or something like that. Well, Vulcan hesitated. We could, but it's not practical. The door opened without another moment of delay, and the inspector stretched his hand for Jonathan to enter. The Earth's embassy office was a bright, well-designed space that immediately reminded Jonathan of offices he visited back home. While he had the time to look around and take everything in, Madness went to open the door. Behind them, a distinguished-looking dragon female was waiting, holding an elegant-looking, heavy-looking purse. Inspector Eustace, I would say your timing is always off. Oh, come on, Lursa. We're only minutes late. Exactly, but I blame you, not the ambassador. As he said that, she took the initiative and avoided the inspector before he managed to answer and approach Jonathan. She emanated energy, passion, and experience. She extended her hand in a very familiar gesture to shake Jonathan's hand. Good morning, Ambassador. It is a pleasure to meet you. Finally, I have heard and learned so many great things about you. I understand a handshake is a standard greeting on Earth, yes? Jonathan took her hand and then cusped with another shaking, gently flashing a smile. It's a pleasure. I believe you will be my new secretary. Correct, I'm Lursa, the pale lady. In fact, saying I will be your secretary is a bit of an understatement, which I am sure Inspector U.S. is aware of. So towards Madness, who shrugged innocently. I have been, in fact, appointed as a dim advisor to yourself, and I can assure you everything you have read in my credentials is accurate. It took a long time for the inspector to convince me to take this position. This is your family's history and the legacy you carry. Well, I am thrilled you decided to accept this position, but make no mistake, I want to make my own legacy, not live in the sound of my family's name. I will not expect anything less of you, Ambassador. It warms up my old heart knowing this. So can I leave you to return my duties? Oh, no, Inspector. These are your duties. You are not getting out of this that easy. In fact, I have prepared a data pad containing your work rota, and I have prepared a similar one for the ambassador who will have access to our schedules. Great. The Vulcan let out a heavy sigh. I can tell straight away that the inspector loves discipline. So, Lursa, do I need to have this data pad on me, or can I have the data transmitted to my personal comms? Of course, in fact, I have come with a much elegant solution. Lursa produced the earlier mentioned data pads from her purse, and after that, she took out 3 boxes and passed each to both Jonathan and Madness, keeping the last for herself. Are we getting gadgets now? You know I like gadgets. This is definitely making my day better. Hold your tail, not so fast. These are not gadgets, but custom produced communication beads. They are much more advanced than your standard WISP computer and designed with more personal use in mind. Technology allows to connect with any display and compatible device and is fully secured. Have tested and guided approved by the Imperial Military Force. Hope you approve, Inspector, so some initiatives won't hurt, right? These are fantastic. I must say the craftsmanship makes them look more like costly jewelry than a piece of technology. That's the aeronaut tech jewelry makers for you, Jonathan, sir. They'll create anything looking like a masterpiece with hidden features. Do they match my eyes? Madness already put his device on his wrist. Sure, Commander Starlight, whatever you say. Madness immediately threw Lursa an angry look, and the woman quickly shut her mouth and got slightly flustered. But Jonathan was too busy reading what was on the data pad to pay attention to the exchange. So first of all, my thank you to both of you are in order. I sincerely appreciate your work so far and input to help this. Jonathan gestures around the office made it happen. Although I'm the only human here, I would like you to feel like you are part of this new community. Lucifer smiled softly in reply, giving Madness a few taps on his shoulder. We already do, otherwise we wouldn't be here in the first place, isn't that right, Inspector? Madness took a moment to reply. Of course, and we are thrilled you will let us feel like we are a part of all of this. Well then, enough soft and cuddly for now. Let's get to work. Listen, what do we have planned for the day in the schedule? The official office opening is until 11 a.m. today, is that correct? Yes, however, on other days it will be from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's perfect. Good timing and place, Madness. You said you will introduce me to the rest of the security forces. Yes, correct, Jonathan, sir. They should arrive later today. You also have on your list to check up on. Wait, is that correct? Yes, Ambassador, you have your own transport assigned. It's part of the imperial policy for all foreign dignitaries to receive their own method of transportation. It's a brand new model, which needs all the technical and software checks performed. And you can do this? Expect you as one of the few who can the very few who can ambassador in the whole imperial city. That thing's going to stay grounded until I say otherwise. I'm impressed, Madness. The Vulcan quickly flashed a proud smile at Lursa, who only shook her head and rolled her eyes. Right, we are all set and ready to go then. But before we start, question out pure curiosity. How do you ever get coffee in this place? Coffee? What's that? The ambassador means the drink many humans consume. We are familiar with a similar drink that comes from Innabar. When we first received samples of food products from Earth, it became apparent these are similarities in many things, including coffee. In fact, the blend you had supplied in your quarters is a mix of coffee and Herzen from Innabar, and this is what they call it. It's fantastic. I was shocked. I never drank anything that good. Madness rolled his eyes, sticking his tongue in disgust. I'm glad you like it. I asked for it myself. It's absolutely delightful. Ugh, I can't believe you two doing that stuff. It's disgusting. You only dislike it because you have a natural prejudice towards the scary people. The ambassador should really try the Herzen they offer in the sanctuary. Perhaps if you ever get invited. Let's hope not. Oh, be quiet, you. As I was saying, if the ambassador ever gets invited, I should suggest trying it from the source. Jonathan, sir, after yesterday's incident, are you sure you are ready to work? I still got a lot of fight left in me, don't worry. Madness was ready to say something, but let's just stop him with a single gesture. For Jonathan, it was amusing as the inspector immediately listened as if he was his own mother. Ambassador, we are not out of the woods yet. Although this is the first official day the embassy will be open, the actual work won't start for a few day cycles. As you are aware, the so-called week period lasts 9 weeks on Aora. Yeah, that's a long working week. However, you will have the flexibility in advance of communication if you need to visit a site, you can always work using your comms. They will double as a computational device and data storage. You mean the codex device I picked up on my desk? That was you? Indeed, I had a message delivered to your room. Inspector Sleepy Face here was kind enough to receive it without waking you up. Ha ha ha, so incredibly funny, yeah. 5 a.m. in the morning. Lisa shrugged with an innocent smile. Shall we, Ambassador? She said enthusiastically. What's the correct protocol? Madness looked at Lisa and she nodded enthusiastically. The Vulcan then walked to a panel located at a desk that sets main parameters and opened a comms channel. Blue Guard Security, this is Inspector U.S. Madness. We are on time and fully compliant with the embassy access procedure. All systems have been tested and the setup is at optimal working capacity. We are waiting for our confirmation to open the doors. Lisa claps a few times. This is so exciting. I'm so excited. Are you Ambassador? She put her elegant arm on Jonathan's shoulder in a warm manner. I don't know what to feel, to be honest. Jonathan answered truthfully. How should one feel when opening an embassy in a foreign world as the first of their species? As where humans perform and celebrate alcoholic drink opening. Haha, yes, we still in these times open a champagne bottle for special occasions. We are most definitely not doing that. That silly pop sound these would get the entire security force here in seconds. Right, bad idea, sorry. We will find something, don't worry. But I must admit, I feel excited. Suddenly the comms came alive. Commander Assi speaking. Ambassador Hope, welcome to Aora. The Emperor himself just approved your request. You have permission to open the embassy doors. If you require any support from Blue Guard security, let your inspector know. How do I answer? Madness quickly unlocked the channel on the virtual console. Here you go. Thank you, Commander Axie. I'm grateful for your assistance. Luster clapped again and then proceeded by pushing Madness away from behind the desk. Shoo, this is my workstation now. You can open the doors. Madness rolled his eyes and proceeded to open the main door to the office. Is it that simple? Well, no, not really. Anyone can enter, yes, but outside there will be guards. The inspector spoke from the other side of the room. Lester will be making appointments, and there will be a schedule, sir. Also, your plan will include free visits for anyone. The door works as multiple detectors just smells radiation chemicals viral in different wavelength forms. If an individual raises suspicion, a rapid stasis response will activate. A what? RSR creates a stasis field that immobilizes anyone with malicious intent. Right, let's start. Lursa. She seemed engulfed in many tasks dealing with analytical data information. Jonathan thought it would be best not to interrupt her. Jonathan looked around to see if he could chat with Madness to distract himself, but the inspector was nowhere to be found. Currently there is no incoming messages. Really, Jonathan, the first day at work and you always are procrastinating? Come on, get a grip. In the end, the day was much busier than he anticipated. Alien visitors were coming and going, most of them to congratulate on the opening of the embassy and some just curious about the new species. Eventually, around midday, the crowd slowed down and Lursa brought a set of cups and a drink for everyone. Shortly after, managers left to attend some official security business, leaving the couple alone. This was a relatively successful, peaceful first day, Ambassador. You call that peaceful? Here, peaceful doesn't mean boring, just without incidents. I see. Jonathan stretched on a chair on his side of the office. The door to the embassy opened and an elder Giscari entered the room. He was very confident with an odd air of quirkiness expressed by the vivid colors of his clothes. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Hope. Giscari said straight away to Jonathan, catching him off guard. Ambassador Hope, I'm sorry, sir. Who are you? Yes, indeed. Apologies, Ambassador. But don't worry, all my patients are just people. Humans, Giscari, Vulcan, Aina, aeronauts. Everyone suffers from the same problems of sickness, whether a zookeeper, singer, king, or ambassador. But I'm not a doctor just for one kind. I'm for all kinds, you see. I don't understand. Who are you, sir, and why do you call me your impatient? Jonathan looked at Lursa, hoping for her to help, but the woman only shrugged, smiling without a word. Our apologies, His Royal Highness. Prince of Annabelle has requested I visit you and perform a health check after yesterday's perturbations. I'm Hayan Akita, the first royal physician and xenobiologist. The scary doctor looked around to ensure it was just him, Jonathan, and Lursa without earshot. His Royal Highness expressed that although your human friend may be a doctor of the mind, healing the body doesn't seem to be his specialty. I'm grateful, but I'm absolutely fine. Nonsense. Mr. Hope, you are not fine. I'm not going to start with what I have heard happened yesterday night. It would be best if you were under observation as an alien entering a new ecosystem. Who knows what effects this may have on you? But don't fret, I'm totally trying to treat any race of species of patients, even humans, yes. Before you even thought about Aora for the first time, Mr. Hope, the best doctors of my whole world, including my humble self, have been studying your people. They understand you better, to help you better. The scary doctor was talking so fast that Jonathan could barely keep up with this energy. Russ, on the other hand, seemed very pleased and amused. Jonathan, I will comply with what the doctor says. You are not out-taught as a scary doctor. Trust me on that. I tried. Ha, yes, Madam has tried many times, but the winning score is always mine. Yes, Malay, therefore you are in good health. Actually, Doctor, I did want to say, in a moment, Madam, Mr. Hubbard, I'm here for you. Firstly, I will need you to take this medication. Well, not medication. It's a multi-compound body scanner hidden within an easily digestible tablet. Yes, it's sweet as a pleasant flavor. Fruit jelly. I did my research well. You like fruit jelly, yes, Mr. Hope? I'm sorry, what? Do not fear it will only reside within your body for less than 2-day cycles. And the data it gathers will be automatically forwarded to my receiver for analysis within the sanctuary laboratory. Listen, Doctor, please slow down. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with the idea of having a scanner floating around my stomach. We can perform a full body test with invasive blood works and other bodily fluids. Even the best technology cannot just facilitate results with wings from thin air. Again, slow down. Isn't this all too fast? You can't just waltz in like this and request me to. Oh, Jonathan, trust me, we can. Oh, Jonathan, trust me, you can. There are regulations in place for that. If you won't, he will just keep talking until you will. Jonathan pursed his lips for a moment. You're joking. Jonathan glanced at Alyssa as she only shook her head. Fine. Wonderful. Will you kindly give herself a glass of water and comfortably ingest the tablet? My humble self will await your return here. Jonathan glanced at the doctor's extended paw and the small sachet contained the tablet. After a moment, he took it to avoid an unnecessary embarrassing exchange. And it will not take over my body. The nervous system somehow override my personality. The scary doctor fluttered his eyes for a moment, then started laughing like crazy. Even Alyssa covered her snout to hide a giggle. Ambassador, please tell me the inspector hasn't been showing you any of those ridiculous holovids he loves so much. No, what? The doctor combed his beard for a moment curiously after he stopped laughing. Alright, fine. I admit I've read too many sci-fi books as a child. I'll just take the damn thing. Jonathan turned around and left the office, hearing the cheerful exchange between the scary doctor and the secretary. And he just made a white fool out of himself. Quick break, that will do him well. Jonathan dropped his jacket, stretching. Ugh. White glass, water. He grabbed a glass from the kitchen and returned to the living room, hoping to get this over with as fast as possible. The sachet tore quickly. The tablet looked just like an old-fashioned vitamin supplement he used to take. Jonathan quickly swallowed the thing, helping himself to the full glass he had. Long day, Jonathan. Huh? Jonathan twitched in surprise. I was spitting out the water he had still in his mouth. Who? He recognized the voice, but the alien it was coming from looked much different from the last time he saw him. Almeisan stood relaxed by the balcony door. Jonathan could have sworn these were closed during the morning. How do you get... Oh, right. My apologies, Your Royal Highness. Just Jonathan. Didn't we have this conversation? Charming. How did you get here? The prince has his secrets. He is also happy you are well. Let me stop you right here. Let me start right there, Your Royal Highness. This is a secure apartment of a political representative. You can't just walk in here when you want. No. Almeisan seemed amused. With all due respect, the prince cannot just show up like this. The political repercussions. Jonathan, stop talking for a moment. Jonathan, Almeisan interrupted, raising his paw. I have important information about you and your family. Jonathan stopped, half-word, shocked. What did you say? The scary doctor walked in shyly. This will have to wait. Her Royal Highness, you have precisely 52 seconds. The first advisor has walked into the embassy as we spoke. The first advisor. I mean, thinking that he just made a white fool out of himself. Quick break that will do him well. Jonathan dropped his jacket, stretching. White glass water. He grabbed a glass from the kitchen and returned to the living room, hoping to get this over with as fast as possible. The sachet tore quickly. The tablet looked just like an old-fashioned vitamin supplement he used to take. Jonathan quickly swallowed the thing, helping himself to the full glass he had. Long day, Jonathan. Jonathan twitched in surprise, almost spitting out the water he had still in his mouth. Who? He recognized the voice, but the alien it was coming from looked much different from the last time he saw him. Almeisan stood relaxed by the balcony door. Jonathan could have sworn these were closed since this morning. How do you get... Oh, White. My apologies, Your Royal Highness. Just Jonathan. Did we have this conversation? Charming. How did you get here? The prince has his secrets. He's also happy you're here. He's also happy you're well. Let me stop you right there, Your Royal Highness. This is a secure apartment of a political representative. You can't just walk in here when you want. No? Almeisan seemed amused. With all due respect, the prince cannot just show up like this. The political repercussions. Jonathan, stop talking for a moment. Almeisan interrupted, raising his paw. I have important information about you and your family. Jonathan stopped half-worded, shocked. What do you say? The scary doctor walked in suddenly. This will have to wait. Her Royal Highness, you have precisely 52 seconds. The first advisor has walked into the embassy as we speak, and Lursa is trying her best to delay him. Almeisan listened, then turned towards Jonathan. You have to trust the prince on this, Jonathan. Play along, even if you don't want to, even if you don't like it. It's essential you do. What if I don't want to? Do I get a say in this? 32 seconds, 35 if Lursa stops. The prince is begging you. The doctor paused, listening. 25 seconds. Jonathan took a deep breath. Fine. Almeisan swiftly turned and ran out the balcony and, with a powerful jump, disappeared. Jonathan's heart almost stopped only to hear a blast of engines a second later. The doctor walked towards the balcony and closed the door gently, and then sat down. Join me, Jonathan. The scary tapped at his seat. Remember, Mr. Hope. Cough, dizziness, fatigue. Jonathan slowly sat down, biting his lip, trying to process everything. Don't be alarmed by anything that is going to happen. Just for the record, I don't trust any of you. I have no reason to. This is bizarre. Good. You would be a fool to do such. The scaly's ears ruffled. Now tell me, how are you feeling? Problem sleeping? Tightness of muscles, yes? Jonathan hesitated. It's one of the better nights I had. Suddenly, the apartment doors flung open, and Saif barged in and barely a step behind Lursa, frantically gesticulating. Where is he? Advisor, please. This is unheard of. Also rude. I demand to know where he is, Royal Majesty. This is one of the better nights I had. Suddenly, the apartment doors flung open, and Saif barged in and barely a step behind Lursa, frantically gesticulating. Where is he? Advisor, please, this is unheard of. Also rude. I demand to know where is his Royal Majesty. The doctor slowly stood up, extending his hand to Jonathan, signaling him to stay where he was. What is advisor? May I ask what is the cause of this disturbance? Can you not see I am attending to a patient? Don't play games with me, Akita. Where is he? Where is the prince? The advisor was very different from the warm, friendly person Jonathan met yesterday. He was roaring furiously. The only motivation Jonathan had to follow this bizarre situation was the weird, uncertain words of the prince. Something about him and his family. He was unconvinced but curious. What's the harm, at least for now? Jonathan coughed a few times, trying to get up, acting out his best to look unwell. First advisor, it's a pleasure to see you again. Is there anything I can be a help? Ambassador. The scary took a moment scanning Jonathan. Mr. Hope, are you okay? Jonathan shrugged the question off. Yeah, that tablet has given me horrible heartburn, but now I have a cold in that. Mr. Hope, what's heartburn? I'm unfamiliar with the term. Doctor, what kind of medications have you administered to Ambassador Akita? The prince has requested a scan concerning yesterday's incident. I'm sure you're aware, advisor. I am. Ms. Hope again. What's heartburn? It's, as far as I'm aware, when the stomach acid travels up to your throat from the stomach. It can cause a burning feeling in your chest. Fascinating, bizarre, and confusing, yet fascinating. Both of you, enough with the games. Where's His Royal Highness? I know he came here. Jonathan played out his best surprised face. First advisor, I'm sorry, but yesterday was the last time I saw Prince Almeisan. Is there a problem? Is there something I should know about? So he's still motionless, his nostrils flaring. It's a scary scene to think about what to say next. He was, however, interrupted by voices coming from outside. Just a minute, please, first advisor, just calm down. What is happening is just a misunderstanding. Jonathan approached slowly, still playing out his forced role. I'm sorry, first advisor. I haven't been feeling the best today. I guess my body's still in shock. Sage grabbed Jonathan suddenly by the shoulder. The man felt a force pressing on his muscles. It is the same ambassador. Jonathan shivered from a sore pain, losing balance. We were going to invite you to sanctuary, but with everything that's happening right now, I will have to reconsider. Noticing that Scary didn't stop clenching his paw over Jonathan's shoulder. The pain was growing sharper by the second. Something warm dripped down his biceps. Do not play games with me. First advisor, stop this at once. The doctor shouted angrily, and Mason walked into the room where a crowd of guards in the exact moment. Sorry, Sabu. Where on bright stars did you go? The prince's shouts filled the room. The doctor looked at Jonathan, worried. As the prince entered the room, Saif let go of the bastard. Your Highness, please, you can't just... Oh, goodness. Abe Sabu, here you are. Now you can answer my questions. Saif started confidently, reaching down for a tissue to wipe the blood off his claws, just to be interrupted by the prince. Saif Sabu, what is this? Do you expect me to chase you about the entire Imperial complex? Leaving without me on a show where I request you to see me in the memory hall? Now Mason looked at Jonathan, the bloody stain painted on his shoulder. I saw anger appear in the feline eyes. What is this? Jonathan pursed his lips, forcing a weak smile. The pain in his shoulder felt like hot needles piercing his skin. Ami Sabu, please do not play games with me. I know you have been here. Why do you insist on these charades? Why did you insist on visiting this human? Prince Almeisan's face darkened as he looked at Jonathan, then Saif putting together what had happened in his absence. He reached down the side of his robe and pushed his paw out to the advisor. He had a large red crystal in the paw that seemed to be a piece of a statue that crumbled away. The prince pushed it angrily at the advisor. You do not tell me I am a liar, Saif. How dare you inflict pain on our allies? I did not inflict pain on Amin Sabu. I was merely educating the human. You walk a thin line. Have not seen or spoken to the ambassador since last night. The prince paused. The prince wants the hall members to be closed by the night for repairs. It was your duty for an entire season, and still nothing has been done. Here you are, terrorizing innocents for your twisted agenda. Seth hesitated for a moment and bowed reluctantly. Ami Sabu, my apologies. I will look into this immediately. He then turned around to Jonathan and the doctor. Ambassador, my apologies for hurting you. The first advisor left the room with his head bent in the sand, just to wait outside. Almeisan turned around to Jonathan and the doctor. Jonathan, doctor, the prince would like to apologize for this ridiculous disturbance. We hope to see you soon in a better mood. Doctor, can you please tend to Jonathan's injury? As he spoke, he winked at both of them with a sad smile, and he left the room. Jonathan was left speechless for a long moment. Larissa walked back, and when everything went quiet, they left and the door is now locked. I think that's enough bizarre adventures for one day. Darling Ambassador, this does not look very pleasant, she said, looking at Jonathan's arm as the doctor was cleaning the wound and applying some sort of healing spray. Now, doctor, can you tell us what is going on? This is the last time I'm helping in any of those political games. I would have never allowed this if I knew Saif would behave like a crazed maniac hurting an ambassador. Jonathan suddenly mumbled, amazed. He lied. Who lied? He lied. Indeed, Mr. Hope, the princess lied. But he can't lie. That's true. Isn't a prince incapable of lying? I thought that was common knowledge. Of course, but he specific medication that temporarily inhibited a block to his condition. This should wear off soon. Jonathan sighed, twisting slightly when the doctor finished with the claw wound. First of all, some pre-warning me that I may get abused would be nice. Thank you very much. Secondly, why go through all this trouble? You need to explain everything because I don't understand any of this. What's wrong with Saif? And why the secrecy? The first advisor is tasked to ensure the prince's life is always secured. His decisions are rational and for the good of his people. That's why our prince talks the way he talks. I'm sure you know this, Mr. Hope, because he is the voice of our people. He cares more about them than himself. I've never seen the first ambassador this agitated. I have known him for many years. But he does have a darker side to him that I know. He was very different today, like he despised me for something. Jonathan subconsciously rubbed the wound of his shoulder. What he has done, that was aggressive. He was trying to intimidate me. Do not take it personally, Mr. Hope. The advisor is very concerned about the prince. I feel both him and the prince have reached their end line of assassin. Doctor, old friend, what are you saying? What is the prince obsessed with? I do not know all the details only as much as he was willing to tell me. I trust the prince with my life. He is in possession of a human artifact that's been lost to time, which he hopes may lead him to his lost fathers. Doctor, I don't understand. Me neither. What artifact? Is the king of Unabar missing? The two kings, precisely, Jonathan. Prince Almeisan's fathers, but I thought they had died when the war ended. I cannot reveal more. This is official state information. Oh, come on. Do not play that game with me. Is it true? It is true. I gave my word to the prince. So what does the prince need from me? He is asking for your help. Thus we are circling back to why the advisor is so against this. He fears the prince will go on a wild hunt and get himself killed. That seems somewhat logical, but can't he just send an official mission? The prince doesn't have resources, not as much as you think he does, Jonathan. After the war, he, exiled. Yes, he exiled himself and Unabar to atone for the mistakes and destruction done by his grandfather. He led Roos's campaign of conquest and destruction. We in the world only now are recovering thanks to the hard work of the prince's efforts to rebuild them. What war? I didn't hear or read about it anywhere. Do you mean the conflict that took place 8 years ago? That's correct. That's before the prince was even born. Yet the devastation the war has brought on these worlds will be present even after his death. The prince feels responsible. Oh gosh, I remember those times, the scary bastard. Lisa looked at the doctor, who coughed slightly. No offense, old friend, but he deserved it. His rule caused a civil war. That still doesn't explain what it has to do with me. What kind of artifact we are talking about? Unfortunately, Mr. Hope, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. It could be an old satellite he sent into deep space that has recorded the two kings' trajectory, perhaps. But what I know is the presence of this artifact is being kept secret even from you. To add to the paradox, this object had informed us about the existence of your race decades before you made contact. That's concerning. Doesn't Java need an invitation to the sanctuary first? Don't worry, by evening hours today, first advisor will send a official invitation. He will also be very apologetic. That's all then. I'll go to the sanctuary, talk to the prince and see how I can help him. Unfortunately, that'll be that easy. We need to stay at the sanctuary for a few days. Why would I need to stay there? Because I guess the first advisor will prevent you from seeing the prince as much as possible. Indeed. This is a plan. There's a plan, but I suggest you think this through. I'm sure there may be many things you will learn that will be hard to digest. I will. Are you going to agree first and listen to the plan? I need to think this through. Good. Now you should get some rest, Mr. Hope. This older man needs to talk with his old friend. How old are you two, by the way? Lisa turned at the doctor and smiled. I think we are still reasonably young. I haven't yet celebrated my 3rd century. Jonathan struggled to fall asleep for a while, but he fell into the dark and comfortable void once the sleep came. But the void decided to bring him weird dreams. A room somewhere he didn't know, and then a voice in front of him. A melodic one, the voice he always knew and missed so much. Why, are you curious? Ella was there, dressed up like she was going to some movie gala. She always loved expressing herself in different ways. No, not really. Jonathan, I'm curious why I am lucid dreaming of my sister that's gone. All your words. You are just like a giant hood. Then Jonathan realized he recognized the voice, the gardens outside the UN building held a small monument tower. In that dress, wait. There was a celebration once. They sat there together after everything was finished. Are you a ghost, a crazy space interdimensional ghost? Ellie laughed brilliantly. That's something only you could have come up with, Jonathan. As long as you carry the memory of me, I will never be gone. So you are a memory? Sure, let's go with that. So, aren't you curious? I think I had enough curiosity for one lifetime. I just want to do my work here, help Earth. What happened to seeing the stars, meeting new races, having amazing adventures, and not being afraid? I'm not afraid, but please hang on while I change my trousers. Ella laughed brilliantly again. This is entirely wild and unknown territory. There is nobody to help or save me. That prince seems cute. Oh, brilliant. That definitely is a valid point. He did hug you back to life. Alright, I'm curious if you want to know, and I hate the fact that I am. Just like I was back on Mars when I opened the damn gate. What if they found Voyager? Imagine a day it recorded through those decades since we lost contact. Then do it. I don't know if I should. Oh, come on. Earth ambassador in an alien world gets saved by a handsome prince. The latter wants to take him on a space event to reveal some long-forgotten mystery using an ancient human artifact to find his missing fathers. That's a book I read. I watch too many sci-fi shows, you too many love stories. Ellie gently placed her hands on Jonathan's shoulders. You know that life doesn't wait for anyone. It just goes by. It doesn't matter if you want it or not. You will regret it till yours if you don't try. Wake up one day and think, it could have been me. Those last words resonated in Jonathan's mind until he woke up. So we made it chapter 1 for Almeisan. So there's this artifact or the satellite that was made by humans that Prince Almeisan wants to know about, that could tell him what happens to his fathers. And he wants Jonathan to come with him. So I think we'll figure out more about this satellite and how it could help Almeisan with finding his fathers, the former kings. Well, he doesn't know if they're still alive or not, but they could be alive. I'm not sure, but I think as we continue on with his route, we'll figure out more about this satellite, what it can do when it comes to helping Almeisan find his fathers. And Jonathan will be important to this. Is that the reason why he was so keen on having? Is that the reason why he was so keen on being with Jonathan all along? If he thought, well, I might want to get close to this human, he might know about this satellite that I could use to help find out what happened to my fathers. So I wonder if I think he went to Jonathan because he was nice. I don't think it was just using Jonathan, but I could be wrong. But he could be using Jonathan, and he was only nice to him because he might have some clues or knowledge about the satellite. But he's probably being nice as well. But I also wanted his help in finding the satellite or artifact or whatever it's called, since it had something to do with his fathers. So I wonder why Saeed flipped on Jonathan so suddenly. He was very nice to him when they first met, with the other just gave regards. But in that scene, right after Prince Almeisan left his residence, when Saeed barged through and grabbed Jonathan and clawed him, grabbed his shoulders, and his claw pierced into Jonathan so much that blood started streaming down his body. I wonder what made him act so rash that he would assault the ambassador. I don't know if it has something to do with the satellite, or I don't know. I wonder. It was quite odd that he was nice to Jonathan back when they first met. Was he actually nice to Jonathan? But after that first meeting they had, Saeed found out more information about what Almeisan was trying to do, and that all of a sudden he got angry towards a human, or maybe he had some anger towards a human when he first met, but for some reason decided to be nice to him anyway. I don't know. We don't know, but next time we'll begin chapter 1 for Almeisan, and we should learn more about all this. So the Earth Embassy is finally open, and it went well enough there weren't any trouble, but it was peaceful. As what's her name? I've got her name, the dragon secretary, the female dragon secretary, but as she said, it went peacefully. Not so much like all happy and stuff like that, but peaceful in the sense there was no disruptions. Everything went smoothly. So that's it for now. All the information for the game is in the description box below. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.